Hey, are you looking to upgrade your key life areas and evolve to a higher level of existence? To practically harness personal growth and spirituality in a crazy, busy, imperfect world? Then you've come to the right place. My name is Prash, and this is Urban Spirituality, the show which uniquely fuses ancient wisdom with contemporary self-growth and spiritual disciplines to deliver value-adding tools, traits, and insights to help you unleash your fullest potential. We always keep it real, featuring authentic, unfiltered dialogue with guests from diverse backgrounds to inspire, entertain, and enlighten all who listen. So get ready for your dose of urban spirituality. Be present and let's dive in.
I've had some slanderous things said about me. I've had many slanderous things said about me in the past, and you can never be completely free of. Can you hear me, Prash?
I can indeed.
You'll never. It doesn't matter how successful you are, how popular you are, whatever's going on. You're always going to get your haters and your naysayers and challenges. And I think about karma, and I think, okay, that's sad. There's been, especially when I think, well, I'm a good guy. What have I done? I've not done anything. Then you think about past spiritual debts and karmic debts, and I'm like, oh, okay, that may be. In this scenario, somebody's saying some not nice things, which are totally untrue and unfounded. And without going into the person, they're clearly mentally unhinged. But when they're doing this on a public scale, you do get people who can side with the naysayers. And we look at the media. I know a lot about this. There's been so much denigration, public denigration of me. But people do realize that there's so many lies said in the media, and they don't believe a lot of what's said. But there's still a big part of society that does believe what's said. And even I could be guilty of that, because the media is so clever. We're continually hypnotized by television, by radio, by billboards, by fashion. You know, how to think, how to feel, how to act. And so it can sometimes you have to try and see beyond. I try not to be judgmental in everything that I see with my eyes there and then, because there could be a backstory. It sounds like I'm talking in riddles. What I'm trying to say is things aren't always what they seem. So I'd also think you can get a first good impression of someone, and forgetting about what they look like, what they say. I love Bruce Lee. Do not think, feel. Emotional content. I generally now, I look and I see with something called this, my pineal gland, my third eye, and my heart and my gut. And I get a sense and a feeling about people. And unfortunately, some people can I don't even think misconstrue, manipulate for their own gain. And that's very sad. But as I spoke to Prash guys and girls just before I came on air, because like I said, I had something a bit shitty just happen, and I'm forced to be responsible for my business, to take legal action, because there's been lies said about me, and they're slanderous, and they're destructive for my business. But I don't want to put too much energy and attention on that. But then at the same time, I thought it was I wasn't going to do this live video tonight with Prash, because I was thinking, this isn't good. I need to address this slanderous lies. But Prash said to me, no, show people the real you.
Correct.
But it doesn't mean it's not affecting me, because it's a shit. When people say shitty things, it's shitty. So what, Prash, you said, let's talk about owning it.
Right, exactly. And this is a really key subject, you know, for anyone. This situation right here is a perfect example of something that might be happening in your lives or has happened in your own life. And obviously, as an empowerment coach, as an elite coach, in all these years, I think there hasn't been at least a handful of times over the weeks and months when I'm coaching a client where they've had stuff happen that is completely beyond their personal control. They didn't necessarily ask for it. Sometimes they did, but the reaction or the actions that are affecting them, whether it's a work-related thing, whether it's a human being in, attacking them verbally, being harsh, and in every scenario, the one thing that we can do is to own our stuff. It's to own the reaction that we have to the situation. We can't control the other person's actions necessarily. Maybe indirectly we can, through litigation, through legal channels. Of course we can.
Listen,
but the one thing we can do in that moment.
Bad Prash, I've been there, and it's been so laborious. I've been in, I don't want to talk about it, more than 50 court cases in the last 10 years. I'm tired, and I'm like, who really wins there? The lawyers. And I think I've been cajoled by media, by people who supposedly have my best interests at heart. You've got to fight. Hang on. You've got to know when is the right time to fight. And sometimes own your own shit.
Correct.
Sorry.
Own your own shit and choose your battles.
Yeah.
I think very much to own your own shit and choose your battles wisely. And I think a big lesson that we can walk away, all of us, is that there are going to be situations in our family, in our very own house, the place that we live, or in our workplace, where we're going to be pushed. Our patience is going to be pushed. Our emotions are going to be pushed. And our livelihood sometimes is going to be pushed. And we need to learn to bring ourselves back into a center where, rather than reacting, we pause, take a fire break, and recognize immediately in that situation, how much of this can I own? What can I do in this situation? And sometimes it's what you just said a few minutes ago, Alice. Sometimes the best response is no response. Somebody's goading you, somebody's pushing you, somebody's provoking you for a response. Sometimes the best response is no response. And other times a delayed response where you can go away and say, you know what? I've taken stock. I'm going to own this shit, first of all. I'm going to own my emotions. I'm going to own my reaction to this situation. I won't let the other person control my reaction. Right?
But
and that's what we've got to
let's
get.
Look at that. I have a, I know this will blow up because I'm a good guy, but the temporary and the accusations are rubbish, absolute ludicrous. And the person who's making them, it sounds crazy because it just by her own evidence. My point is, it is affecting me because it's made me, it's riled me. I was going to come on tonight and we're obviously, I think this is apt that I do come on because, like, you have to show in life the shit does hit the fan and you can't just bury your head in the sand. You got to get up and keep going sometimes. No. And that, right now I'm furious. And the reason why I was going to come on because this has literally just happened. And I literally, I found out this information 10 minutes before I came on here. And I think this isn't wise. I need to take stock and calm down. And I do you know what? I'm okay with this. Ultimately, this isn't a big deal. I've had the most horrendous, this is in terms of the litigation and the most horrendous thing said about me. This is nothing. I can deal with this. It is still something though, because I'm perturbed, bothered.
Yeah, you're feeling it. You're feeling that.
So I feel like I need to take some action. But maybe this isn't, so if someone's slandering your business, you're Burger King, and then someone says, look, Burger King used dead cows that are all diseased. You don't want to eat burgers from Burger King because you're going to catch a disease if you eat burgers from Burger King. If you're Burger King, aren't you going to take action?
Sure you are. You're big. You depending on the size and scale of the thing. The point is this. Let's just level up for a second. Let's just come up for a second. Let's look at the big picture here. The big picture message that we got to pick up here, and this is key, and we see it time and time again in corporate life, in home life, in personal life. The behavior is still the same. We need to pause, ascertain those things that we can handle, assess the size of that incident, right? The incident that's happened, whether it's slander, whether it's this, whether it's that. Is it a physical thing? Is it that? In other words, assess the incident that's happening upon you and then make a decision as to how you take it, rather than reacting to it suddenly and emotionally. And as a fighter, you know this, right? the whole mind game thing. People mess you up in the head, and then they want you to play a rubbish game, fight at your worst. And you know you got to stay unfazed. You're a master at this, right? And
Yeah.
that same philosophy wants to be applied here. That's not to say we don't react. We're not becoming all Mahatma Gandhi and doing nothing. And I don't mean any disrespect to Mahatma Gandhi. I don't mean that we're going to take the passive route always. But sometimes the passive route is required, and sometimes action is required. But in both scenarios, you want to be in control of your stuff. Own your shit first, and then decide what can you or can't you do, Alex.
I'm seeing a lot of people comment. Marcus Langford, my mate, is saying he had someone try to destroy him in his own business years ago. And I've got Nicola Gear. You sued him, babe. Now this is the thing. Suing, I can't do that, and I'm quite an expert on this subject. Like I said, the real people are winning, the lawyers, and the reason I sue, I win.
Yeah.
But guess what? Am I winning? Really, I'm winning. I'm not. I'm losing creativity, time, energy, negativity, spending on someone who hasn't even probably got money to defend. Yeah, I get an apology, and that's good. Sometimes you do need to do that, but I mean, in this scenario, it's a tricky one. I mean,
the thing is, when it's raw like this, obviously you're going to feel it, right? It's raw, it's happening, it's in there. And I think, again, it just goes back to the same point that we need to have a fire break, a gap between the thing that's happening and the reaction. You can't always get it. I get it. Somebody's coming to attack you with a knife. You got to respond straight away. But invariably in 21st century society, on a day-to-day basis, where it's not a life and death situation, the smarter approach is to pause, regroup, see what you can own and what you can take advantage of, and then go and respond, whether that's suing, whether it's litigation, whether it's speaking to somebody. And here's the other thing, right? Imagine somebody screws you up. Let me give you a great example. Sometimes we're so caught up in our own head, we can't see the solution ourselves. And sometimes we need friends or family or somebody around us to show us a different way, because we try and solve problems. We know the saying, Einstein said it famously, a problem cannot be solved at the same level at which it was created. We know this, we've heard this. Let me just tell you a story. One of my mentors just told me the other way. I was having a chat with him, he's in Vancouver, and he said to me, he recently saw an incident, and he was just describing that there was a truck, it got jammed underneath the bridge, right? There was a lorry, it got jammed underneath the bridge, and it got stuck because it was ever so slightly too high to get under the bridge. Now it was lodged, the truck wouldn't come out. They had firefighters, they had dozens of people trying to forcefully dislodge the truck that was stuck under the bridge, and it just wouldn't move. They tried everything. Then some kid.
I've lost you, Prash. Some
kid who was just watching this whole scenario from the do not cross threshold spoke to a policeman and said, "What's going on?" The policeman explained what's going on. He says, "Why don't you just loosen the air from the tires?" A 10-year-old kid said, "Just loosen the air from the tires, let the air out, the truck will drop." And sure enough, the truck dropped by 4 inches that it needed to, and it was able to come out. And so lateral thinking is what we need sometimes.
I
we need to think from a different
was that kid not stressed by the situation as directly as the other people? Maybe they had less pressure. And why am I saying this? There's one thing that I've noticed. What we're going to be doing on our retreat on the 17th to the 20th of September next month in Hungary. Meditation is a skill that we should learn at school, a life skill. Because you know what? I'm starting to meditate a little bit more and more. I'm not a big meditator. So I'm actually, as much as I preach this stuff, I'm learning myself, because meditation has kept me calm, slow down, allowed me to not, oh shit, calm down. Look at it from a different perspective. And I, of all people, I've got 1,001 different things going on in my life. I mean, I know you do, Prash. And I'm like, I feel like burnout. I mean, I've just finished a film, which was, and I've started a new business, and we're promoting our retreat. And I've been involved in some legal shenanigans. I'm not going to go into that, but all these different things, all at the same time. Not the most ideal time to start a business. And then I've got this rubbish going on as we speak with this person who's staying.
Indeed.
But take stock, breathe,
breathe,
and
breathe.
slow your mind
Breathe.
down. One thing I do every night, I listen to meditative music to put me with different beats, chants, alpha beats, to change my brain activation level. Maybe you can explain it more, Prash, but it's putting me into a more deeper calming.
Gets you into an alpha state. Yeah, let me just run that real quick. So, folks, just a little bit of an idea. When we're operating during the day in our day jobs, our work, whatever, we're typically in what's known as a beta brainwave state. Typically beta, maybe sometimes alpha. What that means is we're in a heightened state of activity and we're very much in a responsive state. When we want to start getting into a state where we're more relaxed and getting creative, we move into what's called alpha, relaxed alpha. And then from alpha, when we want to start getting into a meditative state, we go from alpha into theta and eventually delta or gamma. And those frequencies, that is the frequencies at which the brain is overall vacillating and operating at. Those frequencies are the frequencies associated with calm and deep meditation. And Alex, as you rightly say, embracing a meditative practice, whether it's in the morning, in the evening, wherever you can, even 10 minutes as a start is a powerful way to do that. In fact, I'll share a little insight with people here. We'll give you some ideas of where you can go. We have a great meditation. I'll share that with the group afterwards. But start with a simple guided meditation. And if you can't do that, start with focusing on your breath. Alex, you did it perfectly. It's exactly what you're doing. And we've done this, you and I, when we do our one-on-ones, where we're breathing in for a count of 4. And you've seen it, you hold that breath for a count of 4, and then you release that breath for a count of 4. Just doing that individually. I mean, let's do that right now, just for a couple of seconds. Do it with me, Alex. Breathe, just get those eyes closed or just focus on, that's it, beautiful. Make your mind calm by just focusing on your breath. On my count, breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, all the way out, 3, 4. Keep out, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. And hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. Good. Keep the breath out. A few more, Alex. 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. And hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3. Keep the breath out. 2 more. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Keep the breath out. 2. Last one. 4. Deeper. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. And hold, 2, 3, 4. All the way out, 2, 3. Keep the breath out. 2. Just be in your own space. Bring your senses under your control. Recognize that you are the master of your senses. Recognize that all the world around you cannot harm you when you are in control of your mind and you're able to respond in a way, and that suffering is temporary.
Feel a lot better.
How's that feel?
Yeah, I feel a lot better. Amazing.
And imagine now when you speak to somebody, a loved one, a friend, beautiful Nick, now you can sit down. Now you're in a calm state. Your emotions are calmed down. Now you can sit logically and say, okay, what do we need to do about this situation over here that's just arisen? What are the options? And what's the worst that could happen?
I tell you,
write down what the worst that could happen.
Because you've got, it's like someone's got a knife in your back and they're twisting it round. And all of a sudden you're doing that. The knife comes out. Oh, okay. So what do I really need to do right now? It gives you time. Where, and it just is the funny thing. You feel, I haven't got time to meditate. I've got all this, and it's like, it's one of the best things you can do when you're so busy and so crazy. And I've started doing this.
Hey folks, thanks so much for listening. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and as with all our episodes, found something to inform, inspire, and empower you in your personal and spiritual journeys in life. As always, feel free to leave a little love through your ratings and comments, subscribe and share it with those you care about. And take your personal and spiritual evolution to the next level by joining us on one of our unique events, workshops, or retreats, or taking advantage of our personal and professional coaching packages. Find out more about us at mantratherapy.co.uk. I'm your host, Prash K. This is Urban Spirituality, and we will catch you on the next episode.